Yo, spoiler warnings moving forward, so if you're not trying to get spoiled by the Boruto manga, then you're gonna have to get out. If you're still here, go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead, slide over, click the subscribe, and let's get ready for the video.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your man, the Grass Ninja, and the entire purpose of this video here, this video prediction, theory, discussion, or whatever this is, right, is basically for us to analyze the current situation, alright? It's for us to analyze the current power set of Eida, and most importantly, the understood abilities and newly revealed limitations of Eida's powers, alright? So most of this stuff that we're going to go over here is backed up by legit evidence from the manga, while some other things that we talk about will fall more into speculation or rational assumption. So that being said, I hope you join in on the discussion in the comment section below, and without wasting any more time, let's start talking about Eida's abilities. Alright, let's start with the Senreigan Clairvoyance. Alright, so Clairvoyance basically makes her the ultimate spy. When it comes to espionage, no one can gather any more intel than Eida, because she can peer into every window that doesn't exist. She can basically watch every single moment that ever transpires in all of ninja history. Now, there is a limitation here. She can only see into the past up to the moment of her birth, so she can't see things that happened before she was born, but we don't know how old she is, right? She can also see anything that happens currently in the present, and this is not limited to the earthly plane. She is able to see on other various dimensions as well. So when Boruto teleported Ishiki into that other dimension where he eventually ended up dying in, she was able to see that entire fight take place there. And when Ishiki died, his soul made its way to Code's karma in order to part the whole Otsutsuki will mission onto Code, and she was also able to see that take place, which happened in the Ten Tails dimension where the new Ten Tails is. Alright, so she's able to see shit happen on Earth. She's able to track you if you go to other dimensions. Alright, and then she can see into the past up to the moment of her birth. Okay, so there's no hiding from the Senreigan, or at least that's what we thought. Alright, now her other ability, Captivation, Attract, or Simp no Jutsu as I've been calling it in all these videos, basically allows her to steal the hearts of anyone that she is in the company of. Alright, so if she meets you or you're in the same room as her, you know who Eida is now, right? You basically become her captive, in the words of Amado. So like, you are one of her love slaves. Alright, now everybody experiences different symptoms when it comes to the captivation, right? Shikamaru thought he was having a fever and his muscles were aching. Like, Amado looked like he was about to shit his pants. Delta literally dropped to her knees just because she thought Eida was so adorable. Code is over here thinking that, like, you know, he's got a chance sliding in them pants. And then, yeah, everybody's basically in love with her in some way, shape, or form, right? Now, this limitations that were initially brought to us were if you are a blood relative like her brother, you're immune to the captivation ability, right? If you're an Otsutsuki, you're also immune to the captivation ability. That's actually a big motive for why she wants to get with Kawaki or Boruto, because they're Otsutsukis and they won't just instantly fall in love with her due to her ability, right? But then we look at chapter 69, and we get some huge revelations on new limitations that have been revealed to us. Alright, so first thing that shocked me in chapter 69 that made me think about things a little bit deeper was the shadow paralysis connecting. Alright, so the shadow paralysis actually made its way and connected with Eida, right? This shocked Eida too. She said, whoa, you're actually able to attack me, right? And then she sums it up by saying, since the jutsu doesn't inflict harm, right, it doesn't directly harm her, that she is not going to be able to negate it, right? He's able to connect that jutsu because it doesn't actually do any damage to her, right? And then when we look at that, right, Shikamaru, his shadow paralysis is complete, but we didn't see him do anything like strangle, like, you know, shadow strangle jutsu and try to choke her out, or like, you know, shadow stitching and try to like pin her up. Nothing like that, right? But the paralysis does work. And it actually worked so well that she was completely immobilized. So if you have jutsus that don't do any direct damage to her and can immobilize her, you can hit it, right? So what does that do? That opens the window to a lot of other jutsus that we could speculate actually would affect Eida, that you would actually be able to pull off. Now, space-time ninjutsu is very relevant in the Boruto era, and I believe that is a jutsu that also works on Eida, and it's not just based off speculation. We actually see Code use the space-time ninjutsu to bring her into Konoha. Okay, so Code was able to reach into a claw mark and then pull Eida out of it. Alright, so you are able to use space-time ninjutsu to move her from realm to realm, dimension to dimension. So when we see these Otsutsuki boys, Boruto and Kawaki, when they inevitably combat Eida, they might have to remove her from the battlefield so that way she is not protected by Code or Damon, and she can't turn anyone else on the battlefield into her subjects or her little love slaves, right? If Boruto or Kawaki enter that room and they turn hostile, it's very easy for Eida to say, Delta dear, please subdue Boruto. Code, could you please handle Boruto? Shikamaru, go ahead and strangle Boruto for me. Like, she could do it, right? So, removing her from the scene would be an easy way to fight her one-on-one, or just to get those people to stop following those orders because she's no longer there to influence them in order to do those things, right? So, the other thing, right? That's just with Captivation. When we go back to the Senreigan and how she's able to spy on everybody, we learned in chapter 69 that there are limitations to that as well, alright? The telepathic link that Ino was able to set up between Amado and Shikamaru proved very effective against the Senreigan because Eida was unaware that these boys were strategizing and trying to figure out a way to defeat her. Now, the telepathic link was interesting. We also have the spiritual link, alright? Eida was unable to witness the conversation that Momoshiki and Boruto had when Boruto was being resurrected, alright? Or when he woke up after being resurrected, right? She only gained the knowledge of why he's resurrected because Boruto told Amado and Katasuke and Sai or whatever. But she was unable to see that spiritual conversation that they had when Momoshiki froze time. Momoshiki has frozen time on multiple occasions, which means Delta was oblivious to the fact that he was doing this, even though Sasuke's Rinnegan was able to see Momoshiki freezing time when Sasuke had the Rinnegan, right? So, spiritual links and telepathic links seem to be the logical way to avoid her Senreigan's clairvoyance. Now, who else has spiritual links that they can take advantage of? Because there's no way we can just have Ino running 24/7, linking everyone's minds all the time, right? So the spiritual connection comes into play. When we see Jinchuriki and their tailed beast, there's potential for that interaction to be Senreigan free, right? You can't peer into the mind of a Jinchuriki and see them talk with their tailed beasts. The same thing could be said for anyone utilizing Ninshu, right? Naruto's Ninshu created his ability to mold his chakra with other people's chakra, form a connection, and then link their minds. Basically, what he did with Sasuke every time they clashed their chakra together, right? Naruto has mastered Ninshu, and he should still have a mastery over Ninshu. If he was able, he could spread his chakra to anyone in the room, form that spiritual link, and then they can have a conversation in his mind or in their little spiritual plane, right? And then they'll be able to formulate plans without the Senreigan knowing, okay? Now, if we go back to Eida's actual main problem, which is the attraction, okay, we have androids, okay? So in the Kara Owl arc, Kara Actuation arc, or when Owl was prevalent to the story, we saw these little robot android things that were on the blimp that Kawaki was on when it crashed, right? These things are completely robotic. There's no humanity to them. If you created a swarm of these or a huge army of these with the right programming to, I don't know, attack Eida in case she ever captivates Amado, right? Could they try to swarm her, attack her, without any way to shut them down because Amado's a smart dude and he's like, I would not build a failsafe for this program because if I'm captured by Eida, she can just tell me to shut it down. You know what I'm saying? So, is it possible that Amado's built in some sort of android swarm device that'll attack Eida whenever he's under the influence of her Simp no Jutsu, right? And then this also begs the question, since we know that the attraction or the captivation, right, one of its limitations are blood relatives and the Otsutsuki clan. What is it about the Otsutsuki that keep them immune to this ability? Is it an Otsutsuki derived ability, like was Eida's ability made through experimentations done to her with some Otsutsuki resources, right? Or is this purely a function created to manipulate humans, right? So is it like, oh yeah, humankind, man or woman, it doesn't matter, she can basically attack your unconscious mind and change your body's instinctual behaviors, right? And then this doesn't work on the Otsutsuki because they have a different genetic makeup, they're not human. Would this also apply to the summoning creatures, right? If somebody basically summoned a huge squad of these animals without ever meeting Eida and just trusted the word of certain people, would they be able to send an army of these summonings in order to fight Eida that way? Or would the summoned creatures also be captivated by her ability? Like, would Manpa Toad fall in love with Eida? Would Gamakichi and Gamabunta fall in love with Eida? If Boruto summoned Garaga, would Garaga fall in love with Eida and then basically betray their owner's will? Or is it something that the summoning creatures would be like, why are you guys acting so stupid? It's just another person, okay? And then if the summoning creatures work, and that's a valid tactic, what about reverse summoning, right? We already talked about how space-time ninjutsu could work, like you could remove her from the battlefield. What if you used a summoning jutsu, like Kashin Koji does, reverse summon her, or summon a toad, swallow her, and then summon it right back, you know, a reverse summoning. Could that effectively remove her from the battlefield? And then since we're on that Kashin Koji topic, right, we saw Kashin Koji disappear. Whenever he is coming back, it should be soon, or like towards the beginning of that time skip era where we see what happened with Kashin Koji. Hopefully, bro. If he turns into that Yamato went missing and we hadn't seen him until like basically Madara succeeded with the infinite Tsukiyomi, like, I do not want that shit, bro. Like, if the next time we see Kashin Koji is when Code eats the god fruit or someone starts feeding someone to the Ten Tails, I'm gonna be pissed, bro. We need to see this dude. But like I was saying, with Kashin Koji, if he was ever to interact with Eida, how would his body react to the Simp no Jutsu, right? Because Amado said that everybody has a different reaction. Like, the symptoms are always different with every other person. Not everyone will have the same reaction, right? Like the simpletons, like Delta and Code, they simply become infatuated with Eida. They just fall in love with her. While more complex people have more different reactions. Shikamaru said he felt like he was having a fever and that his muscles were aching and tightening up and stuff. Amado was literally like shitting his pants, like he was shaking so much, you know? Would Kashin Koji, like, how does this affect perverts? That's what I'm gonna say. We're gonna get right to it. Kashin Koji and his DNA, his whole genetic makeup is based off Jiraiya, the legendary pervy sage. Now, what would happen if Jiraiya was captivated, right? Would Jiraiya, with his little sticky fingers, like, bow down to the queen? Or would he be like, I need to get me some of that? You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know. We've never seen Kashin Koji show any of these, you know, Jiraiya-esque tendencies where it came to the pervy sage, right? He's more of Jiraiya the gallant, like the Toad Sage, but the pervy sage is in there somewhere, bro. So if Kashin Koji comes back, could they use him to sum up or create a certain gag moment or scenario? Because they're already doing a lot of comedic stuff with Eida, right? So if Kashin Koji comes back and he meets Eida and he gets captivated, could he, in some sort of classy, I don't know if that's the right word, but super perverted way, try to capture Eida so that no one else could have her, so that he could get his sticky little fingers in all her little places, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Kashin Koji, you know, I could see him meeting her, trying to hold back and hide that he doesn't have that nosebleed, and then just be like, I must do some research, and then reverse summon a toad to swallow her up nice and safely, teleport her to some mountain or some beach or whatever, and then be like, alright, word, I'm gonna go, you know, check on my toad and my new captured princess girl that everyone seems to love and that she's making me feel all types of way, you know. Or they could just chop it up to like, he is very touchy-feely, and it, like, his intentions aren't to do harm, his intentions are to, you know, pleasure. And then that allows him to subdue and actually put hands on Eida. And Eida might find that dude creepy and then try to combat him. And then this is where we get to see her basic or practical taijutsu skills versus a sage level person who fought Ishiki. You know what I'm saying? It would be insane to see Kashin Koji return, and I feel like it'd be a great opponent for him to face up against and then basically win and then be like, holy crap, we have Kashin Koji on the scene. Holy crap, we get to see Naruto link up with Kashin Koji and then be like, he's just like the pervy sage trying to feel up on this girl. Holy shit, dude. Let me know what you guys are thinking, bro. Join the discussion in the comment section below. I've been your man, the Grass Ninja, signing off. Peace.